Merry meet and welcome. Welcome to the realms of mysticism, the occult, and magic, where your possibilities are only limited by your imagination. Welcome to the witch's cauldron and discover the knowledge you seek. Gather round the cauldron and even stay for a spell. Brightest blessings to you. Merry meet and welcome to the Witch's Cauldron. Today's video is one of my special videos on the Sabbats as they come along. And this year there is literally a once in a lifetime event happening on Samhain, and that is a blue moon on Samhain. Now, for those of you who are relatively new to the craft, a blue moon is the second full moon within the month. Okay, so we had one in the northern hemisphere. We had one, I believe it was on the first to the 2nd of October, and then our second one is on the 31st of October, which is Samhain. And normally blue moons come around every like 2.5 to 3 years, somewhere in that time frame. And that's the time to do magic related to long-term planning, wish fulfillment, and things of that nature. A full moon on Samhain occurs every 19 years. A blue moon on Samhain is a once in a lifetime event. The last time that all of our time zones in the US had a full moon on Samhain was back in 1944. Okay, so, you know, astrologically speaking, this is a very rare event. Okay, the first full moon in the northern hemisphere for October was October the 1st, and that was the harvest moon. The second one will be on October 31st on Samhain, and that is a hunter's moon. It's also sometimes called the travel moon, the dying grass moon, blood moon, or a sanguine moon. Now, traditionally, and I'm talking from an agricultural perspective, you have to think, this is when your game is fattened up, preparing for the winter. Like a lot of the game, like deer, etc., are in a rut right now, and it's time for, you know, us humans to prepare for the coming months. And those, you know, who were carnivores would typically, you know, do their hunting this time of year, slaughter and preserve the meats. And this is why it was often called a sanguine moon or the hunter's moon. Okay, and that comes from an Anglo-Saxon tradition. Now, on Samhain 2020, there are a lot of things that are going to be in play. It's not only the moon that's in play. You have several planets in retrograde. You have those astrological influences. And sometimes it can be really hard to figure out what the hell to do for your ritual, what type of magic to perform, and things like that. So I'm going to try and break some of this down for you to make it a little bit easier to understand. Now, remember, a blue moon doesn't mean that it's going to show up blue in the sky. It just means it's the second one within the full month, or the second one within a season. Some people call that a blue moon. Most of you know that Samhain marks the pagan New Year. Okay, and it's also for us the beginning of the dark half of the year. Okay, this is when the god dies, and then is reborn at Yule. Okay, And our dark half of the year goes from Samhain until Beltane, then from Beltane until Samhain. That's considered the quote-unquote light half of the year, okay? The dark, the unknown, and the light of the known, okay? The light shines everything. You can see everything. In the dark, you have a harder time seeing things, right? So Samhain is one of the times of year when it is the best time to work with spirit, with divination, honoring your ancestors, because the veil between the worlds thins until Samhain. It is at its thinnest on Samhain. So many of our Samhain rituals involve honoring those who have passed on. To get into the nitty-gritty of all of the astrological influences that are in play, but not to make you completely glaze over going, oh my God, would she just shut up? So the first thing, the moon will be full in Taurus, okay? And it's going to be what is called conjunct a retrograde Uranus, okay? And with it being the blue, it's going to be a blue moon. Mercury, Mars, Neptune, and Chiron are also in retrograde at the same time. And Mercury is square Saturn during this time. So one of the first things you have to consider with this Samhain 2020 blue moon is to look at all the retrogrades and what they can mean to the astrological influence of your ritual, your celebration, your preparations, your workings, your spell work, everything like that. So this is a time to work with your ancestors and to learn the lessons of the past and bringing in the harvest, okay? Retrogrades often tell you to move slowly, to dig deeper, to go below the surface of things, and to really pay homage and remember, okay, those who have gone before you. This is not the time to start new things, okay? But it's a great time to review and release things that no longer serve you and to make plans, okay? Let's start off with the planets that are in retrograde. When Neptune is in retrograde, it helps you look beyond the physical, okay? It's also to let go of any illusions or delusions that you have going on. If you have deluded yourself into believing something and have been living in this fantastical little world, this is the time to let it go, okay? It will challenge you because it does strip away the layers of fantasy, okay? And make you see things for what they really are, okay? When Uranus is in retrograde, its power is slowed down, okay? And Uranus is a planet of transformation, swift transformation. And when it's in retrograde, it slows down. So you can actually be more aware of the transformation. And this time, Uranus will be in Taurus. So the focus is on, you know, the earthly traits, okay? Staying grounded to really help you change, assess, and change the material things in your life, okay? The urge for you this time of year, while Uranus is retrograde in Taurus, your urge is going to want to be, you want to change the material conditions of your life, okay? You need to stop and devise a plan of action, okay? Real change is only achievable if you find the balance between Uranus's drive to get it done and the balance of Taurus and its durability, okay? When Chiron is in retrograde, old psychological and spiritual wounds can open up and become more evident. Chiron is also the bridge between the inner and the outer places. This is a time for you to look within and find the breaks within your integrity, okay? Healing can happen after Chiron goes direct, but the insight is what you gain and easier to process while Chiron is in retrograde. Another planet that will be in retrograde is Mars, okay? This is when you turn your power inward. You can be very frustrated, and you will tend to push yourself to a point where the outcomes probably will not serve you well for the long run, okay? This is a time of self-care and recharging. It's also a time to assess wants, needs, and priorities, okay? The retrograde of Mars helps it be easier for you to see what does and doesn't work. Let's throw our favorite in there. Mercury's going to be in retrograde on Samhain. Yay! Everybody say yay for... Oh gosh. Everybody hates a Mercury retrograde. And surviving one can be a little challenging. Mercury is all about communication, right? So this is another reminder to be very careful how you listen and how you speak, because this is a time that misunderstandings can really occur, okay? And if you are, say, a writer, this is a great time to see what you have written and to make revisions. If you've been thinking about doing things like taking a look at your legal documents, like your will, your power of attorney, things of that nature, this is a good time to take a look at those and consider any revisions that they might need. It's also a good time to assess, you know, those little dialogues that you have with yourself about yourself. Are you really being honest with yourself? Are you being delusional? Are you being too hard on yourself? So remember, this is also a time of self-care, all right? Now, Mercury is also squaring Saturn on Samhain. So this enhances the chance of like having a sharp tongue and having conflict because of sharp words. But it can help you find out why there was conflict to begin with, and then to be able to, if you're mindful, negotiate and in the conflict, okay? The moon is also conjunct Uranus, so that amps. Your kids may be acting up and acting out if you're a parent. Your spouse, your loved one, your better half, your significant others, may be a time that they will lash out. Be mindful of this, okay? The decisions that you make at this Samhain have a long-term effect, okay? And this is going to get a little weird. Now, this is when things can get a little kind of weird. There are influences of Saturn, Jupiter, and Pluto that are the strongest influence around this time. And these aspects of these planets can enhance the desire for profound change, okay? Not only to the most minute details in your life, but to like societies and structure in general. You need to focus on the things that you hold to be most meaningful to you, okay? These influences start at Samhain, but they run through November the 12th, okay? Mercury turns direct and goes into storm on November 3rd, which is the elections in the United States. So this is also going to be a time where there can be delays with communication, delayed returns, late voting count, etc., leaving everything up in the air. So this Samhain is really a crossroads. This is a time where you're going to do physical and emotional and spiritual house cleaning. Okay, there's going to be a lot of endings and beginnings. And this is a time for you to make smart choices along the way. Be very mindful of the influences, and then you can better structure your rituals. With all of these influences coming in, thinking about Samhain, great time to honor the ancestors, do divination. The blue moon is the time for you to make long-term plans and long-term changes in your life, okay? These are things that you want to come to fruition in the next couple of years, okay? Think about that. What changes not only, like monetarily, spiritually, physically, everything coming together. What profound change do you want to see? This is literally once in a lifetime magic that this is available to you, okay? So there are some things that you can also do that will help you for the next magical year. One is to make moon water, blessed moon water, okay? It's one of the easiest things that you can do. If you already do it, great. It's as simple as putting a clear bowl of like fresh spring water out, letting the moon the night before, the night of, and the night after the blue moon. Then you can actually use this water in other preparations, or you can freeze this water and use it for up to a year for wish fulfillment and making significant changes in your life, okay? If you're not going to use this water right away for some spell work, then freeze it, okay? I actually make it in, put them in like a special ice cube tray. And then I can portion it out like a little bit at a time or whatever. But I keep ice cube trays with my blessed water in them. This is also a great time for you to put your crystals out and charge them, okay? And it's best to do this where you have full view of the moon while you're doing it, okay? And it's best, if you've got some spring water, rainwater, if you're near a stream, if you can, rinse them very quickly. If they're not a stone that will like completely disintegrate in water, spray them down with a little bit of spring water, then put them out in full view of the blue moon, okay? Afterward, you can store them in, like a black, opaque drawstring bag. And then these stones are what you bring out to like supercharge your spell work, okay? Now, a lot of us take a ritual bath before our Sabbats. If you can, and if you are in an area where you can, try an outdoor moon bath, okay? This may be something like, not everybody has access to a stream. They can, strip down and go jump in and bathe by the moonlight in a stream. Number one, it's cold. I've done it. It's cold. But you can, like, if you've got a hot tub, you can sit out there and do it that way. Of course, you can't use salts or anything like that in your hot tub. But it's more the blue moon, you know, bathing you while you're in water, okay? If there's a natural hot spring in your area, yay. You can incorporate that. This is a good time to also honor the owl. Those of you especially that are new to the craft, or even those who have been around a while and you've gotten a little stale in your practice, you can honor the owl by doing a full moon tarot reading to expand your knowledge of the craft, okay? You can draw 5 cards, place them face up. The first card is what the owl wants you to know about your magical practice. The second card is why it's important. The third card is any blockages or forces that stand in your way. The fourth card is the aspect of the owl you need to embody or invoke to move forward and grow in your practice. And the fifth card is the ultimate outcome for your spread. Blue moons are great for spells involving your wishes, okay? This is a time for wish fulfillment, for long-term planning, something that you want to see occur by the next time the next blue moon rolls around, the next 2.5 to 3 years. You can take a really important goal in your life, think about it, and then write it on a piece of paper and burn it in your ritual cauldron. Incorporate that with your ritual, you know, put your spell work in your ritual. And then as the smoke rises from your cauldron, those are your desires going up and crossing the veil between the worlds to bring this wish about to fruition, okay? Now, some of the most important things that you need to do, okay? One is you need to have a plan. And you need to plan out your ritual and not just fly by the seat of your pants or your broom, okay? With everything that's going on, with the planets that are in retrograde, how special this once-in-a-lifetime magical opportunity is, this is really important for you to plan your ritual out. Write it down. Hone it. You've got time still to work on it, okay? Get everything together. Make sure that you have all your T's crossed and your I's dotted, okay? But don't try and be very haphazard about your plans, because Mercury retrograde will bite you in the ass, okay? This is also a time for you to let your body take control, okay? During your ritual, if you feel like dancing, dance. If you feel like chanting, chant. If you listen to your body, okay, you're going to feel particularly more grounded because the moon is going to be in Taurus, okay? Taurus will keep you grounded, go to ground. So pay a lot of attention to your body, the feelings, the sensations, and the effect of this blue moon on your body, okay? This is not the time to start big projects, okay? You need to kind of cool your jets until, because Mercury and Mars are retrograde at the same time, put it off a little bit. But this is instead a very good time to figure out about clearing your mental and emotional space and releasing old baggage and forgiving yourself. Okay, let it go. All right. This is also going to be a good time to get love and money matters stabilized. Okay. Now, Taurus is the energy influencing this full moon. Taurus is ruled by Venus, which is the planet of love, money, and pleasure, right? So it's time to focus on your material matters and your romantic relationships. It can provide a sense of clarity and revelation to you, okay? try and roll with the punches, because remember, Mercury's in retrograde. You can say a lot of really bad things that can cause some irreparable harm. So just kind of roll with things for right now and figure out ways to get your footing, especially with the pandemic and everything that's been going on in the world. A lot of people are having money issues, and this will be the time to kind of take a look, assess everything, and try to get on a more secure financial ground. This is also a time for you to get out of your comfort zone. This is a time for you to look at things holistically about yourself, okay? Now, the sun is in Scorpio and the moon is in Taurus. Those are both fixed signs, okay? And we can tend to be really stubborn right now, okay? A lot of us can think, oh, I've already got my mind made up. I'm not going to change it, da-da-da-da-da. This is a time for you to do really deep assessment, okay? And to align your values, do a lot of inward work, and take advantage of all of these astrological influences, okay? In addition to the influences that are normally there for Samhain. Now, in the description box, I will link a video on Samhain and its correspondences. I am also going to link a video of mine that are on the different phases of the moon that go through and explain all of the types of Esbats and what their correspondences are in each month's, full moon correspondences. Your choices for, your altar for Samhain and for working with your ancestors are not going to change. The biggest part of your ritual that may change is the spell work that you would do within the influence of a Samhain ritual, okay? This is where you would do the spell work for that once in a lifetime blue moon on Samhain occurrence, all right? Don't waste this magical opportunity to really do some profound spell work, okay? Remember that this is the time of year for, the dark goddesses like Ba, the Kaliak, Hecate, Hel, Inanna, Kali, Nephthys, goddesses like that. It's also a good time for the gods of the Dagda, Hades, Loki, Odin, Pluto, and gods of that nature. So, many of these gods and goddesses, the deities, have a darker aspect to them. Do not be afraid to work with, the crone, with the sage, with the darker gods and goddesses. This is the time of year to embrace them, and especially ones that can help you with transformation, wish fulfillment, and enhancing your magic, improving your magical skills, gaining more magical knowledge. This blue moon also is an opportunity for you to seek the truth, not only about a situation that may be in your life, but also about yourself. Okay, it's a good time for introspection and an assessment of your environment around you. The key thing is to focus your spell work on goals and wish fulfillment, okay? So many folks are almost intimidated about this event because they realize that this is a once in a lifetime opportunity and they don't want to waste it. Okay, so I hope this video helped you a little bit with helping plan your Samhain ritual. Remember, you can incorporate everything through kitchen witchery for your meal. Your correspondences, I have a video on kitchen witchery, and I will link that in the description box. Leave me a comment down below and let me know what your Samhain ritual is going to focus on and what kind of spell work you plan on doing on this very special blue moon on Samhain. So with that, my friends, as I always say, merry we did meet, merry we will part until we merry meet again. Be well and walk in love and light, everybody. Bye.